It was supposed to be an easy trip. Just me, my girlfriend, Claire, and the open road. We were driving south, late summer. Windows cracked open. The hum of the tires against the asphalt filling the silence. It was peaceful, almost too peaceful. Hours passed, forests, empty fields, abandoned barns. Places that looked forgotten, left behind. And then the gaslight came on. At first, it didn't bother me. I figured we'd hit a station soon enough. But the miles kept passing. No signs, no lights. Just darkness swallowing the highway. Claire started to worry. Her voice low, uneasy. Shouldn't there be something by now? I told her not to stress, but the truth was, I was starting to feel it too. Finally, a glow ahead, a small sign. Gas to 2 miles. Relief, we pulled off Route 19, a narrow road. Cracks running through the pavement, trees leaning too close to the edge. And then we saw it, a single station, flickering neon sign. Half the lights out, and a man leaning against the door, smoking. Something about it felt wrong, like it had been waiting for us. I almost turned back, but the gas needle was nearly touching empty. So I pulled in. The place was dead quiet. No music, no hum of coolers inside. Just the buzzing of that broken neon. Claire whispered, "This doesn't feel right." I nodded, but I stepped out anyway. The man dropped his cigarette, crushed it under his boot, and just stared. No smile. No greeting. Just pale eyes following me as I walked to the pump. I swiped my card. Nothing. Screen frozen. Dead. "Inside," the man said. His voice was low, rough, like gravel dragged across metal. I hesitated, but again, we needed gas. Inside, it was worse. Dim lights overhead, shelves mostly empty, dust on everything. Like no one had shopped there in years. Behind the counter was another man, older, thin. His eyes were sunk deep into his skull. He didn't blink. I told him I needed gas. He just nodded, and slowly slid a key across the counter. Pump 3. My skin crawled as I took it. When I got back outside, the first man was gone. I looked around. Empty lot, no car, no sound. Just Claire sitting in the passenger seat, her face pale, eyes wide. I unlocked the pump with the key. Gas finally started flowing. That's when I noticed it. The woods, they weren't quiet. They were whispering low, hushed voices like dozens of people. Just out of sight, I froze. The nozzle still in my hand. And then Claire screamed. I spun around. She was pointing at the tree line, and for a moment, I saw them, figures, tall, still, just beyond the glow of the station lights. Watching, I ripped the nozzle out, gas spilling across the pavement. I jumped into the driver's seat. Claire was shaking, her hands gripping the dashboard. I started the car. The engine roared, and the station lights flickered, almost like they were dying too. As I hit the gas, I looked back. The men. The one from outside, and the one from the counter. They were standing together now, in the middle of the lot, smiling, and behind them, the figures in the trees had stepped closer. Closer than they should have been in just seconds. I floored it. Gravel spitting out from the tires. The car swerving back onto the cracked road. Neither of us spoke. Not until we saw the highway lights again. Only then did Claire whisper, "Did you see their faces?" I nodded because I had. The figures in the trees, they weren't strangers. They looked like us, our faces, our eyes, our twisted smiles staring back through the dark.
The night was quiet. Too quiet. I'd been driving for hours, just me. The highway stretched endlessly through the desert. Flat land, empty sky, no towns, no other cars. The only sound, the tires against the asphalt. I was starting to fade, eyes heavy, mind drifting. Then I saw him. A figure, standing by the side of the road. Tall, thin, his arm raised, thumb out. A hitchhiker. At first, I thought about passing by. Everyone says the same thing. Never pick up strangers, not at night, not on empty highways. But something in me hesitated. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe I just wanted someone to keep me awake. So I slowed down, pulled over, The man stepped closer. Headlights washed over him. His clothes were dirty, torn, like he'd been walking for days. But his face, it was hard to see. He kept his head down. I rolled the window down just a little. "Where you headed?" I asked. His voice was low, flat. "East." That was it. Just one word. I unlocked the door anyway. He slid in without another sound, sat stiff in the passenger seat, hands in his lap, staring straight ahead. The silence was crushing. I tried small talk. "Long night, huh?" No answer. "Been out here a while?" Nothing. Just that stillness. That presence beside me. Like he was listening. But not to me. The air felt heavier. Colder. After a few miles, I noticed something. His clothes. They weren't just dirty. They were old. Like from another time. Faded denim. A jacket that looked decades out of place. And then I smelled it. Rot. Faint at first, but growing stronger. I glanced at him. His head was still down, but now I could see his mouth. It was moving. Not words, not whispers, just moving. Like he was chewing on something that wasn't there. My hands tightened on the wheel. My pulse quickened. "Hey, you okay?" I asked. He didn't answer. Didn't even look at me. The smell was overwhelming now. Like something dead was in the car. And then he turned, slowly. His face tilted toward me, and I saw it. Eyes, pale and milky, skin sunken, jaw working like it was grinding bone. I slammed on the brakes. The car screeched to a stop in the middle of the highway. "Get out!" I shouted. My voice cracked, hands shaking on the wheel. He didn't move, just kept staring. Then he smiled, a wide, broken smile. Teeth, dark, rotten, and in a voice that didn't sound human, he whispered, "You shouldn't have stopped." My heart froze. Before I could react, he opened the door himself, stepped out slowly, and walked into the desert. No light, no path, just swallowed by the darkness. I sat there, frozen. The stench still lingering in the air, hands trembling. Finally, I hit the gas. Tires screeched as I sped down the highway. I didn't stop until I saw lights again. A small diner, faded sign, safe. Or at least, it felt safe. I stumbled inside. The waitress looked up. "Long drive?" she asked. I nodded, still shaking. I told her about the hitchhiker. What I'd seen. Her face went pale. She leaned closer, and in a whisper she said, "You're not the first. He's been dead for 40 years. I felt my stomach drop. She pointed to a faded newspaper clipping pinned behind the counter. A headline. "Local man killed in Route 6 hit and run." The photo. It was him. The same pale face, the same jacket, the same eyes. I left the diner without finishing my coffee, got back in my car, and drove until the sun came up. But even now, I swear I still smell it. That rot, that death. Every time I pass a lonely stretch of highway at night, and sometimes, just for a moment, I see him, standing on the side of the road, waiting.
The road stretched endlessly. Dark, empty. Just miles of highway and the steady hum of my tires. I was driving alone. A late-night trip to clear my head. The kind of drive where the silence feels heavy, where every shadow looks like it's watching. Gas was running low. Too low. I pulled into the first station I found, one of those half-forgotten ones, sitting just off the highway. The sign flickered. Only one pump worked, and the store inside looked abandoned. But I had no choice. I parked, got out. The air was colder than it should have been. Still, too still. As I started pumping gas, I noticed movement. A man, standing at the edge of the lot. Not close, but close enough. Just watching. At first, I told myself it was nothing. Someone passing through. But he didn't move, didn't smoke, didn't check his phone. He just stood there. I tried not to stare, but my hands were trembling. The pump clicked. Full. That's when I heard it. Footsteps, slow, deliberate. I turned my head. The man was walking toward me, not fast, not threatening, but steady. Something about the way he moved, like he knew exactly how much fear he was creating. "Hey," he called out. His voice cracked like he hadn't spoken in days. "You going far?" I froze, didn't answer, didn't move. He got closer, too close. The air smelled like rust and old sweat. "You mind giving me a ride?" he asked. His eyes never blinked, never looked away. I shook my head. No, just that, one word. For a moment his face twisted, like anger, like disappointment. But then he smiled. A slow, crooked smile that made my stomach drop. "Shame," he whispered, and then he just turned around, walked back into the shadows. I didn't breathe until I was back in my car. Doors locked, engine roaring. As I pulled away, I checked my mirrors. Empty, no one there. But 20 minutes later, headlights appeared behind me, a car I didn't recognize. Old, rusted, keeping pace. My heart pounded. I pushed the gas, so did they. Mile after mile, they stayed behind me. Too close, too intentional. Finally, I saw another station up ahead, bright, crowded. I swerved in, parked right by the entrance. The rusted car slowed, passed by, and disappeared into the night. I never saw them again, but I'll never forget the way that man smiled, like he knew something I didn't, like he was waiting for the right moment, and maybe, just maybe, he still is.